Hey guys, welcome to Ken's Money Matters. Of course, this is partly the segment for traveling and money. I'm at the airport right now. I'm at what we call the Queen's Terminal, which is Terminal 2 in Heathrow Airport. I'm traveling to Finland currently, and I thought, you know what, I need to do a quick video on just traveling, during these post-COVID times. There's so much happening. There's so many lessons to learn. So I was just thinking, why not just take the opportunity to tell you about everything that happens, so that you're well prepared and of course you're aware. I have covered some 6 countries, almost 9 cities in 9 days. That's crazy post-COVID. Right now with the regulations, with everything going on, covering that number of countries, number of cities in those number of days is like a miracle. So I've gone to like different cities in different countries. If I say different cities, it means in one country I could have covered like maybe 3 or 4 different cities within the same country. For example, in Malta, I did cover like 5 cities when I was there, adventuring, exploring, and having fun. So yeah, anyway, I thought let me give you some info about traveling right now, about the experiences, about the lessons learned, and that makes you well prepared if you want to travel. So, like I said, this is basically to show people what's happening, to give you an insight of everything else that's happening, and also to show you that, you know what, despite everything that's going on right now, we can still live above it. You can still become, life can still continue basically, and we can still manage to do certain things in our lives. Because again, if life stops for so long, it affects so many things. So me giving this information is basically to tell you, you know what, it's been possible to travel. It's been possible to, now make sure you meet the requirements set by different airlines, the requirements set by airports, the requirements set by different countries in terms of entrance and transit and stuff. So this is basically informational video. So like I said, I came from Nairobi city in Kenya. I went to Addis Ababa, and I was there for like a while in Ethiopia. Then I left Ethiopia and landed in London. That was last week. I landed in London, I think around the 12th of this month of November 2020. And then I left for Malta on the Friday 13th, I suppose, very early in the morning. So basically, I wasn't in London for long. And then when I was in Malta, of course, I went to different cities within Malta. Malta is a small country, amazing. I will show the video. I'm working on it, or maybe I will have posted it by the time I'm posting this one. But Malta is an amazing country, and I managed to visit different cities within Malta. So, like I said, I'm looking at the lessons learned, the experiences I've had going through all these countries. And number one experience, first of all, right now you have to ensure that you check the information for every single country you're going to. All countries are different. For example, when you get to Malta, you must have a negative COVID results for you to enter Malta, for example. You have to ensure that when you're leaving London, before you even go to the airline checks that you are negative within the last 96 hours. So you must have COVID results. When you're coming into London from an African country, again, you must have negative COVID results certificate. So, like I said, those are just a few examples, but every single country have their own requirements. For example, if you're going to Greece, I was meant to go to Greece, and you need something called a key worker card. Because London is on lockdown right now, there's only essential travel encouraged. Understand the word. So what happens is that you must have that key worker card to access certain countries. You understand, to show that you are traveling essentially. So every country is different. Every airline is also different. Like I've traveled with some airlines that have different requirements, and this is just to protect themselves in case they are told to bring back a passenger. So there are a lot of it. So what I'm saying is, always check for information before you travel in these times. All these cities I've gone to, all these countries I've gone to in the last 9 days have different requirements. Kenya had different requirements. I did a video on it. Ethiopia has different requirements. London has different requirements. That's the UK. Malta has different requirements, and you have to ensure that you keep those things, in check. And today I'm going to Finland. Of course, it has different requirements too. So when I was checking in, I had to show a few documents just to prove that, what am I going to do? Is it essential? Am I safe? And stuff like that. So like I say, again, when I reach Finland on the other side, they may have their own requirements, or may want to see some things. So check each and every country and make sure you have the right information for the airline, for the country, and for the country you're leaving. Number two, the airports are super, super clean. It's easy to travel now because not so many people are traveling. So most people are at home. For example, London is right now on lockdown, even though people are, up and about a little bit for essential services, or those who still insist on traveling. So again, airports are clean. There are sanitizers, there are masks, there's everything. Some of them are deserted. Like I went to Luton Airport in London, and all the duty-free shops are, all covered up and wrapped up in with linen. Basically, it's a deserted airport. Heathrow is a bit busy here. Heathrow is a bit busy. People are up and about. People are walking around, by checking in. But generally, it hasn't been the norm, because Heathrow, of course, is the main airport, so it will definitely be busy. But there are so many other airports within the UK that started right now. So again, like I say, it's easier to travel right now. Number three, you have to make sure you have your masks or a face covering. I think almost all the airports I've visited in the last few days require you to have masks or face covering at their airports. In London, it's less enforced, but in some other countries, it's very strict. Like in Malta, it's extremely strict. In Addis Ababa, it's very strict. In London, like I say, it's not as crazy. But I think in Helsinki, again, you can't get into public transport like I saw without a mask. So right now, almost every airport, every public place, every public transport require you to have a mask, even in flights. So make sure you have your mask on. Don't forget. Make sure you have your sanitizer, like I said. What I also learned out of this as point number three, is that sometimes our passion go above all these pandemics and trials and all these things. My passion for travel has shown me that I can go over everything else to make sure that I travel. I have a passion for travel. I have a passion to just experience the world. And for me, just sitting down because there are restrictions like masks and stuff, I'm ready to be uncomfortable for a few minutes to go and experience what I want to experience. So it's not going against the laws or whatever it is, but it's just trying to be safe even as I experience life. Because I don't think we can sit down and wait for something we do not understand or do not know when it's going to end. For you who is following your passion, for someone who's doing something they love, I think you just have to go above everything else. We always triumph as human beings. Things can be so rough, things can be so abnormal, things can be so crazy, but as human beings, we always triumph at the end of the day. So this has just shown me that I have an undeniable passion to travel, experience the world, and of course show you the world in a different perspective, or in my perspective. Lesson number 5. Some of the countries haven't gone on crazy lockdowns. Basically, they have tried to enforce these issues with COVID and these regulations, but tried to let life as normal. So if you want to travel, check out these countries that have, they have kind of relaxed the COVID rules so that people are still able to live their lives. So life hasn't stopped out here. There are some countries where you go, like when I went to Malta, people are just by the beach, people are doing their stuff. As long as you keep your safe distance, you wear your mask, you sanitize, you do the normal regulations, and you follow the normal regulations and whatever they want you to do. So some of these countries, life continues. So sometimes if you sit down into a particular place and you think that life has stopped, you may be wrong. So go outside the border, get uncomfortable and experience life in a different perspective. Like I say, there are places that life hasn't stopped, basically. And of course, that's important to know, for you to know that you can still live your life. So there are countries that are still, on. Anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to tell you. I'm at Heathrow now. I need to check out where my gate is. Like I say, I'm going to Finland. And these are just some of the lessons and the experiences I've had during this COVID times. Traveling, very different cities. Like I said, 6 countries, almost 9 cities, and of course in 9 days. So from 11th I left Kenya, and today in the next 3-4 hours I will be in Finland, and maybe in Finland I will visit different cities. So like I said, I've visited almost, now it's going to be almost 10 cities in this duration of 9 days. So it's crazy, but it's fun. I love it. I don't like staying in one place for long. I'm a traveler, I'm a freedom seeker, and this is the life. Thank you guys. Have fun. For those who love travel, have a nice one. Keep safe. Shh.